Nate, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I've been looking forward to this because I've been dabbling in YouTube for years now. It feels like for years now, and a lot of businesses, professionals I work with have said, I've got YouTube videos online, but nobody really understands how to properly do it, and that's where you come in. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. The challenge that a lot of business owners have is a lot of the advice that's out there is not for a business owner, it's for somebody who wants to turn YouTube into a business.
Mm.
And so if you're going that path, there is a lot of great advice out there, but you actually want to follow a different plan if you have a business outside of YouTube.
Oh, that's a really interesting point, because I think a lot of people don't even think of it that way. So let's kind of define the difference between that. Like, like how can you look at it as YouTube as a business? Are you generating revenue from YouTube? Is that what you mean?
So you'll still make ad revenue, but that becomes icing on the cake.
Hmm.
What's really interesting is YouTube shows us everything in the analytics. And so one thing that you can look at is all the different sources of traffic. There's suggested traffic and browse traffic were different ways. Those are different ways that YouTube can promote you, but there's also search traffic. We use it a lot. I mean, we know about the search engine. Well, if you think about all the different sources of traffic, these are different algorithms backed by AI.
Hmm.
So it's they work really, really well. But these algorithms will try and match your content to the right audience. So if you're an entertaining channel and you want to get as many views as possible and your goal is ad revenue to turn YouTube into a business, then you really need to do the things that are going to appeal to that algorithm versus if you're a business, it's really, really valuable to focus on that search because people are searching for your expertise. And instead of just trying to have a video that goes viral and is entertaining, and hopefully some of those people will want to become your customers or clients, you can target them specifically. And a comparison that I've made before, you can make $10,000 on a viral type channel if you get 1 million views, but on a lead generation channel with about 100 views. So
Hmm.
whatever path you want to go, if you want to go after the 1 million views or the 100 views, you can get similar results.
That's very interesting. And I sat in on one of your webinars, and we'll get into to understanding this as well. But is it easier for someone who has an existing channel to start to kind of turn it around and do it properly, or should they just really start fresh and go from the ground up? That's, I think, one of those questions that needs to be answered.
Yeah, it's a very important question, and you need to really look at the audience. So if you've got an existing channel, who are the viewers? If you post a video, what type of people are watching that content? And you've got to be really careful of this because the audience can go in a different direction than your target audience of your business. What's great about search is you can find the questions of your target audience. And so
Hmm.
when you make content that answers their question, you can naturally build your YouTube channel audience to be the audience of your business. One example I can share of kind of the danger of this,
Hmm.
and I produce over 60 different YouTube channels, and this is really the only one that I've made this big of a mistake, but it's on my Nate Woodbury channel. And I've since launched a new one actually, and they're both still doing well. But here's what happened on Nate Woodbury. Making content about YouTube strategy, about entrepreneurship and whatnot. And then I decided to make a video titled Why I Hire People in the Philippines. That was a well-liked topic for my audience. But that topic was also very well liked by people in the Philippines.
Hmm.
They loved that I was talking about their country. Many of them wanted me to hire them. And so that video actually took off, started getting many tens of thousands of views, eventually hundreds of thousands. So I started making more content about the Philippines. When I went there to visit my team, I vlogged about it. Well, and eventually that first video got 1.5 million views before I took a step back and I thought, wait a minute, look what's happening here. Now when I post a video about YouTube strategy, my audience doesn't like it.
Mm.
And the algorithm is looking at this interaction saying, you post a video, your audience doesn't like it, don't make content about this anymore. You need to make more Filipino content. And I'm like, oh no. So It's been a really hard journey to wrestle it back and to take down that content that was bringing in the wrong audience. And so I still am launching content on that channel and I am generating leads from it, but I've launched a brand new channel as well just because I want to have a clean channel. And it's in just less than 2 months, that channel is kind of matching the number of views when I post a video on SEO or YouTube SEO or YouTube strategy or whatnot. It's very, very interesting. So hopefully that illustrates a good point for you.
Yeah, so I think what I'm hearing you say is if you have a channel where you're trying to be everything to everybody and on a wide variety of topics, it can actually be hurting you more than actually having a very niche, narrow channel on a specific topic, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the comparison of an educational channel
Hmm.
that's going to generate leads for a business versus an entertaining channel that we just want ad revenue, we'll use Mr. Beast as a great example because he's got 350 million subscribers. He's just following the trends. If he makes a video
Hmm.
on a such and such challenge and that does well, then of course he's going to make more of those challenge videos. But if he
Hmm.
does something else where it's some, you know, torture video where he buries himself or whatever, let's say he does a new type of video that doesn't do well, that's what he follows is exactly what's doing well. But we're leveraging YouTube differently when we use it for lead generation. We have a business, we have our expertise, we know who our target audience is. We know the people that need our help. And so that's the audience that we need to build and that's it. We don't want to follow the audience or because we're not chasing the ad revenue. But I mean, we can get 20 views on a video from search and generate a lead from it and generate a sale. So it's a different animal.
Hmm. Absolutely. Now let's unpack this from the beginning here. You know, you can go ahead and create videos from what you think you should be creating videos on, but your process is different. How do you find out exactly what videos you should be creating? And you touched on this in the webinar that you held.
Mhm.
So, our listeners don't have the visual side of it, but can you just explain how you go about that initial research to find out what you should be doing?
Absolutely. So the webinar you're talking about and the strategy I teach is the leaf strategy. And I use a tree analogy. So this tree analogy, the goal of it is to get you to not focus on the broad topic that like the trunk of the tree, and not to even narrow it down just a little bit, but to narrow it down a lot, to go out to the leaves on this tree, which represent very, very specific questions. So as you brainstorm ideas, or if somebody shares a suggestion, they ask a question, maybe a comment or an email, or a friend, makes a suggestion. These are all great ways to come up with ideas, but just making videos on ideas isn't going to capture search traffic. What you've got to do to find these leaves is use keyword research tools to find out what are the questions my audience is asking, what spelling, what wording are they using consistently every single month. And this is going to sound unusual, but the more words in the question, the better.
Okay.
So I mean, in the old world of website SEO, a keyword means like one word, two words, three-word phrase, and you would do all this SEO work to try and rank for that. Well, what I found is if you look at your tree, which is your niche or your niche of topics, there's thousands of questions that have 8 words or 9 words or 10 words. And what it does when you find a question that's that specific is it allows you to answer and give a much more applicable answer. Like you're giving way more value to them. But here's the other thing. It basically guarantees that you're going to rank at the top of YouTube and Google.
Hmm.
So you do this keyword research, you find these questions that are 8 words or more to begin with, and you start to rank at the top of YouTube search immediately, and you start to get traffic and you start to build authority in your space with your exact target audience. You start to generate leads. And over time, as your authority and your momentum increases, you can tone it back, meaning you can go after questions maybe that have 6 words in them or that have a higher search volume. And eventually you just dominate the whole tree. You dominate your entire space.
Hmm. Now, what are some of these tools that you would recommend for doing that research?
So really there's one main tool that I use. It's called the Keyword Magic Tool. The website is semrush.com. I do have an affiliate link that will give you a free trial,
Okay.
and that is herokeywordtool.com. The reason that I like this tool, and if you find another tool, there are some other premium tools out there that might have these features, but Answer the Public is not one of them. vidIQ is not one of them. TubeBuddy is not one of them. What the features you need are is can you differentiate or separate the search results between questions and not questions. So that's important. Questions are so helpful. And then can you filter by word count? And does it give you a wide variety of results? Does the tool actually work to give you a lot of results? So it's not very complicated what I'm looking for,
Hmm.
but a lot of the tools aren't built that way to give you like 8-word phrases or 9-word. So that's what the Keyword Magic tool does. And the crazy thing is if we rewind back 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I was using the same strategy, but that tool did not exist. And so I had to jump back and forth to be able to, like I would use Google's tool and come over to this other tool like the Keyword Magic or no, Keyword Explorer or something like that. And combination of a few tools, it took me a lot of time and effort. It was really hard to replicate it, like to teach other people how to do it. But then I was at an event, there was an exhibitor there, SEMrush, and they said, yeah, we have a new tool in beta that you should probably check out, because I told them what I was doing. And man, I've used that tool ever since. It was a game changer. It makes the work really easy.
Hmm. Sounds like it. Now, you get your list of questions that you're going to create videos for. You go in to produce them. Is there an ideal length of videos? Let's just say if you want to be an expert in a certain field, and you're not doing it for entertainment.
Yeah, so longer is better, with the caveat that you've got to keep their attention.
Hmm.
You want them to watch as long as possible. And so it needs to be interesting. We found the sweet spot to be about 10 to 12 minutes, because when you're going really, really specific, then 10 minutes is a good amount of time to really give value and answer that question. And it's enough time to build a relationship with them in that video. We could go into detail if you'd want on shorts. I'd say stay away from shorts.
Hmm.
They're a waste of time for this approach. And that's going to sound crazy, but if you're answering one of these questions and after 6 or 7 minutes you feel like I've delivered a really solid answer, but I don't have anything more, well, then end it there. Like end it at 6 or 7. And it will be very common that you'll have a video that will go 15, 18 minutes, and that's fine too if you're really keeping their attention. And just one side comment about the shorts versus videos and the craze of TikTok and real short content on Instagram. When YouTube separated shorts from videos, videos actually have been trending longer and longer. If you go look, we'll just use Mr. Beast again. If you go look at the average length of his videos today and compare that to the average length of his videos 3 years ago, they have doubled in length. And that's something that I've seen uniform across all the channels that I follow, in fact. So it's pretty interesting. With the how-to content, we don't need to go 30 or 40 minutes, which is actually quite popular on YouTube in the entertaining side. But yeah, hopefully that
Hmm.
gave you some good guidelines there.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to production, shooting, and stuff like that, any tips around what you should do or what you shouldn't do from a production standpoint?
Yeah, so we've heard the expression that done is better than perfect. So whatever is realistic for you to get started with, even the camera that you have on your phone,
Hmm.
it's an amazing camera. The lighting, the color balance, the zoom capabilities, right? It's HD, it's 4K, whatever. I don't really need to worry about 4K because YouTube doesn't. But start there. Now, people will ask, well, what do I need to worry about lighting? Do I need to worry about audio? Well, yeah, like face a window, make sure the audio is clear, make sure you're
Hmm.
close enough to the microphone, or use a lav if you need to. What about a high-end camera? What about a DSLR or something like that, or a mirrorless? We use those when we film. You know, I've got this house I'm in right now is not my home. This is my filming studio. And when clients come here, we use DSLR camera because we love to blur the background. It's an awesome look where you can just have the person on camera, the subject be crisp and clear. We light them to look like they're in a portrait. So it's just gorgeous, and the background is again blurred. But if you were to compare a video that was filmed, just say on your iPhone versus the fancy setup, like which one's going to perform better? Maybe the fancy one will perform a little bit better, but to have that hold you back and say, well, I can't do these if they're not going to be totally professional. It's better to get started and start with what you've got, and you'll start getting results. You'll start generating leads, and down the road, when it makes sense to upgrade, then go for it.
Hmm. Now, you'd mentioned in your webinar, and this stood out to me, was the fact when you talked about these filming houses, was that, especially if you're a professional and you're doing, videos for your business, you don't want to be sitting at your desk, right? You mentioned, having it in a spot that feels like you're inviting them into your home or into a personal space that way. What's the reason behind that?
Yeah, well, if we think about the viewer's perspective, if we're targeting search traffic,
Hmm.
they naturally have their guard up if they think that people are going to sell them something, because they have a question, they want to know the answer, right? So it's like, what's in it for me? They type in their question, and if they find a business or they find a promo video, they're not interested. They want the answer. So think about the opposite then. If they found you on video and there's your kitchen in the background, and you're not saying, hey, this is who I am, this is my company, this is what I sell. You just say, hey, this is the question we're going to answer today. Or, today we're going to talk about blank. And
Hmm.
it's exactly what they want. They're going to be at ease. They're going to feel comfortable. They're not going to feel sold to because we're not selling them. We just build that relationship because we're giving them what they want.
Hmm.
At the end of the video, we'll give them a free gift, right? And to get that free gift, go to this link.
Right.
They know that when they go to your website, they're going to see your logo, they're going to see your brand, they're going to see promo videos. They expect to see that, and yet they're choosing to go there. And so that's the reason we do that. It's kind of like a two-step approach. Let's build a relationship first before we talk business.
Hmm. Now you got your video produced. You're going to upload it to YouTube. There's different things you need to consider, obviously thumbnails, descriptions, headlines, end cards, like all those type of things. How important, like, I guess, what's the most important thing to focus on once you've uploaded it and now it's ready to go through the steps before you publish?
So I'll say the title, but I'll back it up
Hmm.
because it's different than the strategy that Mr. Beast would use. He's really good at making compelling titles.
Hmm.
But what we're doing so that we can dominate search, and let me just say something on the side. Dominating search means when people type in these questions or they type in your expertise, your videos rank at the top. Like that's what this strategy ensures. That's the result. So if that's our goal, then we need to make sure that we do this keyword research to find these long specific questions. So when we're uploading the video to YouTube, we put that exact question as the title. And when we film the video, we're naturally going to say all the right things, use all the keywords, right? All the related categories and phrases to that topic. YouTube will automatically transcribe that when we upload the video. So having the title and then the content in alignment, that's the biggest part of SEO. You could leave the description blank. You could leave the keyword field blank. You could not touch anything else, and your video would rank at the top of YouTube. Now, do I recommend having your description blank? No. Some things will help and will speed it up. The keyword fields, YouTube's admitted, yeah, we don't really pay attention to that anymore because of all these other things and their AI tools, their AI algorithms. So what I use a description for is at the user experience. If somebody is going to click on the see more so that they can expand the description, whether on their computer or a mobile device, if they're going to go through that effort, because it's kind of hard to find, you
Hmm.
have to know like, where's the description? Oh, there's a little dot there. There's a little arrow button. What are they looking for? Right now, you might have given them a call to action. Hey, here's my free gift, and so have that front and center. But they might be looking for more information about the person in the video, about you, right? So
Hmm.
have a bio paragraph in there. Have links to other resources on your website. Um, and then there's strategic things that you can put in there, like chapters. Chapters are like time-stamped parts of your video, and that adds functionality to the video. So we take care of those things. There's obviously strategy with that. I put that big leaf title, that big question in the keyword field, and I put some of the related keywords, even though it probably doesn't make a difference.
Hmm.
Like it can't hurt. What can hurt though is if you keyword stuff and put a lot of unrelated stuff that you hope will get you to rank for, you'll get penalized for that.
Okay.
So yeah, the most important thing is do the strategy first, do the SEO first, build your video around that SEO work, and then when you put it on YouTube, your SEO work is done.
Hmm. So Nate, let's talk about how you help clients. I guess anybody listening to this, it's like, hey, this sounds great. I don't even know how to get started with this keyword research. Is that something that people can hire you to help them with? Obviously you have people come into your studios if they're local, they can fly in, but anyone listening around the world, can they hire you or have a course on this? Like how do you help people? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, actually, several different ways. So I publish a lot of this material on YouTube,
Hmm.
and so people will learn it from there. I've published a book. It's called A Hero's Guide to Influence on YouTube, and so this is on Amazon, and I teach my leaf strategy there and how to do this keyword research. But then when people are looking for a done for you approach, the service that I offer, it's me and a team of 35 people,
Okay.
and my role is strategy. So I do the keyword research with my clients. I help them not just pick these questions, but when we use this tree analogy, we compare one branch to another and we look at, okay, look at all the questions that are broken down in this category, on this branch, compare it to another one. It's like, wow, one of them's definitely way more my target audience. So I really help them hone in strategically of like, what area do we want to dominate? What's the competition look like? How long is it going to take us to dominate that branch? Meaning some branches might have 5 leaves on it, some branches might have 50 leaves on it. And so that's my role, is working out the strategy and the game plan and seeing what's realistic. What's your current business revenue and what do we think we can increase it to, with this strategy. And then at my filming houses in Utah and Florida, clients will travel and we'll do all the filming, we do all the editing, we do the thumbnails, and we launch everything for our clients. So, but I do have, like, if you want to do DIY, if you want it done for you, we want to work with you with what your goals are.
Excellent. And people can find you at betheherostudios.com. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I do a webinar every week. And so that might be a place where we could dive into the leaf strategy. It's about an hour long,
Hmm.
and you can go to theleafstrategy.com. That'd be a good place to start.
Perfect. Nate, thank you so much for sharing all this with us today. This has been great.
Yeah, you're very welcome.